Jean was my instructor in Introductory Cree, second part of Introductory Cree. I think she deserves this Lifetime Achievement Award because she is a pioneer in language revitalization and language preservation. She's a pioneer in that field, and she's taught many students throughout her career. A lot of people have come and gone in the field, and they'd get a lot of lateral violence happening from other people from our communities. Hey, that's not how we say that. Hey, that's not how that's done. Hey, this and that and this and that. And because of that lateral violence, a lot of people moved on to other things. Jean stayed put and continued working the way she does, and that's admirable. We've lost a lot of language warriors on account of language of the lateral violence that we face, but not Jean. She stayed put.
Jean Okamasis is my aunt. She is my mom Elizabeth's sister, and Jean and I have developed a very loving relationship since my mom's passing. So I speak about Jean in a family way. And to me, Jean is home. She is a person that creates my sense of Cree identity in myself and in my children and in my grandchildren. One of the things that a publication that she's developed that I think has a strong community focus is a CD that focuses on White Bear, which is the community that her and my mom were raised in. And so the importance to me about that CD is that she used my great-grandmother Annie on the cover of the CD. It's nice because I can, when I hold it and I touch it and I listen to it, I get this real sense of my ancestors and where I'm from and who my family is.
I'm proud that Jean Okamasis was willing to lend her name to the Cree Literacy Network as an honorary founder when we began in 2010. As much as I hoped her name would enhance our credibility, I also hoped that our work might help to increase awareness of hers. Her humility has kept a great many of her accomplishments hidden from the public eye. But since the 1970s, her reputation for elevating the Cree language through very precise written work is something I hope that we can continue to emulate and promote. One time, years ago, one of Jean's favorite students visited me in Winnipeg, along with another great friend and colleague. They're both gone now, far too young. But Darren Okamesim and Don Paskaman were both highly respected teachers of Cree, both following in Jean's mighty footsteps. One of the historic sites we visited together in Winnipeg was the grave of Cree Chief Kapeyak Waskunam, or One Arrow, in the cemetery of St. Boniface Basilica. One Arrow had been incarcerated at Stony Mountain following the 1885 rebellion and died at St. Boniface in 1886. As Darren and Donna examined the tombstone, Darren grinned his wicked grin, took one finger and drew an imaginary length mark in the air above the A of Waskonam. He was correcting the spelling of One Arrow's name as a sign of respect for the man and for the language. Exactly what Jean would have had him do. We laughed together, recognizing in this tiny act how deeply Jean had influenced each of them with her determination to see the Cree language treated with dignity wherever it might be found.
I do remember the first time I met Jean in my office. She had come to my office at the University of Regina, and I was so struck by, I know I've said this a few times, but by her elegance, her grace. There's not posturing or there's not presentation. She carries herself as she is. And I remember being struck by her physical and also like a real beautiful presence around her. Yeah.
When I first became a teacher, I've been a teacher for about 15 years in the city here, high school and elementary, and I was given a Cree class to teach. And I was so worried and anxious because I'm not fluent in Cree and I don't have any language instruction. And so I went to her house and I told her what was happening, and she encouraged me and brought all these resources out for me to use in the class. And it just inspired me to continue on teaching Cree for the first time. And so now it's been 15 years and yeah, she's pretty amazing.
I had my first child. I would take him over to her house, and just even learning Cree words from the time, that they were small, and watching her almost immediately just start implementing the Cree language, with little words, be careful, come here, where are you? And it was just so nice to see that connection, and I'll never forget that, and how she was, helping to raise my child. So
Jean is a very respectful, compassionate woman who's kind and always willing to listen and to explore words. It's really remarkable that she's preserved the language as much as she has, because many of us have although I speak the language, I don't speak it as fluently as she does. And so using her skills is really of utmost important. And when you give an award, you're really talking about, you honor one, you honor all. And that's what Jean has done.
Jean, dedicating her life to this language preservation is so important, and doesn't just have impact on me, but it will have impact on those that come after her. But it's had impact on so many already, and I've kind of had a few years where I've haven't had a lot of opportunity to really practice the language, and so I'm a little bit rusty in it, but I know that I can come back. It's there, and I know that I have, the recordings, the conversations, the resources that, Jean was a part of creating, and I just really, appreciate that and honor that. Language is really hard to learn, and she was always just so, my memories of her were just like, she was just so happy, like in class, and happy to be teaching it, and never, I never felt awkward or uncomfortable trying to learn it in her classroom space, because sometimes, that can be difficult, learning a language and feeling awkward trying to say things, but yeah.
The Lifetime Achievement Award is presented annually to a woman who is recognized as a leader with widespread and ongoing influence, has achieved remarkable accomplishments that display a high level of excellence, has exemplary character with a commitment to the highest values, and has overcome barriers exhibiting long-term courage and perseverance. It is my pleasure to announce that this year's Lifetime Achievement Award winner is Jean Okemasis.